Welcome, guys, to the Not So Subtle podcast. This is the sound of my fidget spinner.
I actively hate this.
Yeah, this is bad.
And I'm about to hit the dab.
I travel back I'm in 2016.
Whoa, that's weird. That's crazy, man.
Should we restart?
No,
I mean, it won't erase that from my memory, so...
we never restart.
Yeah. Guys, my name's Colter Potter. I'm joined today by Dane LaPointe.
Hello. Hi.
And Jordan Miller.
Hi.
Guys, this is a podcast about pop culture, video games, TV, movies, and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Literally only that, and we're not allowed to talk about anything else.
Yeah. And
that's not true.
That's pretty much it. We're done. All you have to say is movies, TV, video game. Did I say video games in my...
Probably.
Explanation?
It's a blur.
I would hope so.
I'm still stuck on the fidget spinner thing, honestly. I can't get that out of my head.
Honestly, all I hear is that, like, dull, whir of, the plastic spinning through the air. And it's
that's like the millennial version of speaking into a fan.
Mm-hmm. Wait, if I speak into it, do you think it'll make a noise?
No.
Hello, my name is Colter Potter. It didn't do anything.
See, I can't hear it, but I bet the listeners can hear it already. So.
Yeah, maybe you guys heard that and it was like the sickest auto-tune you've ever heard. Maybe I'm T-Pain
Actually,
in this
cut
bitch.
that out, because we might be able to use that for...
We should delay getting to an actual topic, because the people who actually heard that are probably going to go throw up and...
No, it's because the first topic is going to be so fast, because...
It's a lightning round, didn't you? I'm putting the fidget spinner down.
That's the same song you used to pick a movie out of the bag.
Wow, that's gonna be so loud.
That's just the interim song for all activities on the podcast.
Okay, cool.
All right,
so what are we doing?
We were coming up short on topics to start it off with. Let's be honest.
Listen, not a lot of stuff has happened lately. It's New Year. No, nothing's happened.
Sometimes New Year, new me.
Sometimes we'll have crazy stories, or some sort of story. Nothing has really happened, I don't think. Not a lot in the news. I mean, Donald Trump, basically threatened to push his bigger nuclear button than Kim Jong-un.
This might be the last podcast ever.
It could be. I mean, that's really the main thing that happened. We were just kind of laughing nonstop yesterday about his ridiculous tweets.
Do you guys ever just think about how, they could just do it? North Korea could just do it.
I mean, I've definitely thought to myself, what would I do if I just, well, who knows where I'd be or what I'd be doing, but, what would my reaction be? And I have no idea what I would do.
I would hope that our military knows how to stop something like that, at least.
I'm sure they'd have some sort of defense system.
I mean,
you'd hope.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
I'm not a military bomb.
I mean, North Korea is also half retarded, so I don't think they have to.
Well, I don't want to just blanket statement that, but we'll let it go.
No, I mean, in terms of they've fired missiles that have gone nowhere close to the United States.
I mean, yeah.
And we have a buffoon for a president. Guys, it's time for the lightning round. Are you ready?
Kim Jong-un or
Donald Trump?
Man, that's a good one.
Probably Donald Trump.
I'm going to abstain from this one.
God, yeah. I'd have to come up with a joke answer. I can't say anything about that. All right, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
10.
10 is the best?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go with, really good at keeping... I don't know.
In what world is 1 the best?
I don't know. I'm just making sure. I'm gonna go with a solid 8.
10.
I'd go with 7. I'm not a very good liar, but I'm good at just never bringing something up.
Mm-hmm.
As evidenced by how I never ask my friends how they're doing or anything like that.
I just don't want to know, quite frankly.
I just don't care. All right, this is a lightning round.
Okay.
Ariel or Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Whoa. Okay. My brain, literally, you said Jasmine. I was like, what are you talking about? What Jasmine? Who? The sad Jasmine? Is it the sad
happy Jasmine?
Ryan?
Ariel.
Ryan or Ryan?
The only answer
Gosling or Reynolds?
The only answer is Jasmine.
I honestly just didn't have any idea what you're talking about, but Ariel. I like her hair.
Ooh, we got a divide here.
What's yours?
That's a great question.
A mix of both.
I think Jasmine. I mean, when I was a little kid, I mean, she was showing more skin, so I was just like, oh, that.
What is she?
I think she's. I think
wait,
they're both.
you're right.
I think they're both
Well, I mean,
beautiful,
Yeah,
and they both have great character arcs and great songs.
I guess Jasmine, doesn't she have those like poofy pants?
She does. She has
They're
some
both
dope
kind
pants.
of showing zero leg at all, so they are
Well,
showing
listen,
about
Ariel
the same
doesn't
amount.
have legs. Let's not bring that up, okay?
It's a rough subject.
touchy
for her.
subject, yeah.
Yeah, no, Jasmine easily.
Yeah, I mean, she's a princess, and yeah,
Okay.
Ariel was a princess in her own right. She's the daughter
she's
of the king.
straight up a princess.
Yeah.
So that point is mute.
Yeah.
Moot. Excuse me.
Actually, she's Is he a king in there, or is he?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
King
so
Triton.
but-
King Triton. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
Oh my god.
Not Poseidon.
Triton.
Triton.
I was gonna say Poseidon. I was like, he's not Poseidon, is he?
Yeah,
He essentially
I mean,
is.
It's basically, do you like white girls or brown girls?
That's
I like her hair color, quite frankly, is what does it for me.
the hair color
The
is
hair
nice,
color is nice.
but I just like I think Jasmine has more spunk.
Okay.
Yeah, she has more.
That's true. I feel like
I like her personality a little more. than
Ariel whines a little bit too much.
Yeah.
All right, just go to the next
But
question.
she was also thrown into an unfortunate
yeah,
situation.
no, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
this is.
Well, I'm pissed off already.
We might
Let's
cut
just
this
go.
out.
You're angry. What? No, we're not cutting this out.
This whole podcast is getting cut. All right. Dawn or Dusk?
I'm gonna go Dusk.
I'm gonna go with Dawn.
I'm gonna go with Dawn because I never see it, and like it symbolizes something like cooler than Dusk. I feel like
if you're awake to see it, there's probably a reason, and it's cooler by virtue.
yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean,
Dusk is like
no, I agree with Colter. I'm
I see
never
Dusk
up that
every
early.
day. Like I'm not interested in Dusk anymore.
Yeah, but imagine the day you don't see it.
I would.
That would be
fine.
that would be the dawn of a new day.
Damn, fam. You got me.
Nice. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go to? Wow, this is a little.
I'm gonna
That's
go.
not
This is a
lightning
big
round.
question.
That's not
I'm gonna
lightning
yeah, it's
go.
not
Well,
lightning
I mean,
round at
we
all.
can just say it really fast. I'm gonna go with the 40s.
You're just a muppet. I'm gonna go to 1999.
Fuck off.
Honestly, I would want to experience the things that I experienced as a kid as an
Yeah.
adult.
Dude, think
that
how
is
cool
what
it
I
would
would
be
want.
to live the 90s. A 90s kid actually living the 90s as an adult. That'd be fucking awesome.
But
I'm
you'd
totally-
probably learn that all the things you liked were just
bad.
We're just shit.
That's the thing you learn as you grow up. Everything's bad. Like nothing you actually like is good.
That's
So
why.
just move on.
That's why I want to go somewhere where I didn't grow up.
Maybe I would go back to 1955 so I could go to the opening of Disneyland.
Oh,
That'd be
that
cool.
would be neat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the year one.
No one would go back to farther than 100 years
That's
ago.
true,
Like,
absolutely
what's
not.
wrong with you?
1776.
Yeah. I would go back to like before we had any type of tools.
I'm gonna go back to a time where I just can't have fun at all.
Yeah. To where I literally had to like huddle under a leaf.
I want to work for my life.
That would be interesting to see how it felt though. Just for like literally 1 hour.
Yeah, actually, if I could do it for like not a whole lifetime, if it was like an hour, I would be in.
For
I
what
don't
time
wanna spend-
period?
For any time period other than this one,
What if whatever time period you go back to, you have to spend a week there?
I would die.
Is there any situation where you would like want to be in a war situation just to see what it's like and there's a guarantee that you won't die just for like an hour?
There's a bit of curiosity to watch like one of the great world wars and just be like wow. Because even from movies and stuff, you don't get like you don't understand the sense of scale of how many people were like fighting those conflicts. That'd be cool to just. It won't be cool, but it would be eye-opening. Just go, wow, that's a lot of people.
I think it would be interesting to live like in just a major populated city when that's happening, to see how like society is affected, like the people back home.
Yeah,
I think that'd be interesting. Because nowadays it's so far removed from us. When we hear about this stuff like going on in Syria, we're like, yeah, that's bad. Like it's obviously terrible, but we don't have any idea what's happening pretty much.
Yeah.
But
So you would go to Syria.
I would go to Syria. No, like somewhere around. I think like somewhere in the World War II era would be interesting, because the entire world like was threatened. The existence of the entire planet was threatened.
Yeah, I don't
With like the
think
nuclear
I
bombs
would.
and all that stuff.
I don't think I would personally go back to like a wartime for any reason. Even if it was interesting.
I mostly said that period for the musica,
Wow.
because I'm a nerd.
You were born in the wrong generation.
you were.
I really think so, though.
We're saying that ironically.
I know.
Okay, so the next question is, do you snore?
Yes.
Sometimes, yes.
I don't
I've
really
been
know for
told.
sure, but I
don't-
think I do like a little bit.
I've been told recently many times that I do.
Wow. You're a savage. All right. Place you most want to travel. This is basic as hell.
We've done this already.
Hop on.
I don't think maybe we have just really fast, but yeah, I mean, Japan is obviously the best place to go.
Mm-hmm. There's no contest.
Yeah. The next one is favorite junk food. We're going to skip that.
That's
garbage.
talked a lot about candies and junk food.
Also, favorite childhood TV show. I feel like we've kind of discussed that also.
Yeah. I mean, it's Drake and Josh, obviously.
Drake and Josh. It's definitely all real monsters. No, I'm just kidding. For me, SpongeBob.
Man, I don't even know what it would be.
It'd be
Tom and
Rugrats
Jerry.
all growed up.
I might go with like Ed and Eddie. I watched that a lot when I was
Ed and
younger.
Eddie was good, but it was no SpongeBob.
I'll go Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry?
Shut up.
What are you, born in the wrong generation or something?
My grandma's
That's just-
favorite show was Tom and Jerry.
Fuck
Come
you.
on,
That's
dude.
like some classic
I
television.
mean,
right
Looney
there.
Tunes at least.
I don't like Looney Tunes that much.
What the fuck is wrong with
But I
you?
love Tom and Jerry. It was the finest
Tom and Jerry,
movies
where
on
they do the
this.
same bit every
The
day.
great-
They
I
don't though.
loved when-
They've done some very interesting things on Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, I loved when the mouse chased around and got hit by the cat every episode. It's fantastic.
The correct response would have been they do the same bit on Looney Tunes every time too. So
Yeah, with like the Acme fucking anvil and
Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote is basically the same
just
thing as Tom and
despise
Jerry,
that.
But
except
always
with
great.
much higher production value. No, I'm just kidding.
no, with just more ridiculous
Yeah,
violence.
more ridiculous insanity.
A lot of goofiness.
Yeah. All right. Favorite. Wow, Tom and Jerry, you're just a piece of trash.
What? I hate you so
No, I'm just
much.
kidding. If you had to pick something other than that, what would it be?
I don't even know. Maybe like I didn't. When I look back on it, I
SpongeBob.
didn't. No, well, sure, SpongeBob, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny SpongeBob's iconicness.
No,
From
SpongeBob
our
is great. I
childhood.
mean, every episode of that, up to a certain point, is
Every episode of that from the first 3 seasons.
but
out
yeah,
of 15.
is amazing.
Yeah. All right. Favorite. Oh God. Favorite season.
Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
fall. Yeah.
I don't care.
Maybe
Spring, summer.
Fall
I
or
don't care.
I'm
Fall
gonna
or
say
spring?
fall because you're past the like summer, and you're like, I don't want to go back there
Yeah. I don't
for
want to see
another
that again.
for another 3
You're like,
seasons.
will we survive that?
If I had AC, it would be fine. All right, but I would sacrifice it for internet. All right, that's a long-term callback to
That's
one
a
of our
deep
first
cut.
episodes. All right. Okay, so we got last Halloween costume. We could do even favorite Halloween costume because I feel like last is done.
The last one that I really dressed up for was Bret Michaels.
Brett Michaels. Is that a wrestler?
No, that's
that's-
lead singer of
Oh
Poison.
yeah.
With his like long hair and the bandana.
Do you have a picture on hand
Yes.
that we can show the general public?
I had a Star-Lord costume a few years ago, which was pretty awesome. But
Really?
I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's one of my
Did
most
you have the
memorable.
mask?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You can probably get like a shit version of it.
I bought it for $50 at a Halloween store.
Yeah.
Money well spent.
That's nothing. You literally put on a blonde wig and a blue bandana and
mean,
called
that is
it Brett
Bret
Michaels.
Michaels.
That's Bret Michaels. I mean, that's all he does.
Doesn't he have like eyeliner or something?
A little
No.
bit.
No.
He does
I also
have a little
did
bit of
skeleton Bret Michaels at one point in the night.
You need to
That's
send that
good.
to me so I can put it in.
The skeleton one or the other one?
Both.
Why not both?
I'm looking up a picture of Brett Michaels.
The
this-
resemblance is uncanny.
Podcast question of the week: is this the best podcast opening we've ever had?
Yes.
He 100% wears eyeliner.
He does have eyeliner.
I mean, what else was I supposed to? Okay, look. This is the story. I was going up to or over to Pullman to visit Jordan
for Halloween.
for Halloween, and I literally picked up one of my friends, two of my friends actually, at like a Safeway or something, and there was a Party City there, and none of us had costumes. We're like, we're going to Party City, so we go in there. The first thing I see, Bret Michaels, and I just thought
Does
nothing.
it say Brett Michaels on it?
No, it was like
It's probably like rock
it was like
star.
it was like rock star wig, like or like punk rock star wig or something like that. And I was like, this is just. And the guy looked like that, like he had the eyeliner and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is Bret Michaels. I'm doing this. And then I had the skeleton mask. That's what it was. I had the skeleton mask in my car, and I'm like, well, if push comes to shove, I can just wear the skeleton mask. And then it turned into skeleton Bret Michaels at some point, and it went from there. So.
Well done.
One night, I was there for a weekend, so one night I went as, like, you know, normal Bret Michaels, and then undead Bret Michaels was the second night.
He died and came back.
He died that night.
But he was still rocking.
Always rocking, even in death.
I don't really have a good costume that I ever did. I did, when I was a little kid, I always liked those basically Grim Reaper costumes where it has a hood that people can't see you, but you can see out.
I remember that.
That's fun.
Yeah,
those are cool.
I remember you did have like a Scream one. Didn't you do a Scream one year or something?
Perhaps.
I thought it was.
No kid that wears the Scream mask like knows what that is. Like,
that's true. Well, I mean, the Scream mask is iconic, but they don't know. Like, they see that everywhere, but they don't know that it's from like.
Actually, one year I had a Ring Wraith outfit, which is basically exactly like the Grim Reaper one, just the robes were tattered, and I had a sword that I think I picked up from. I think it might have also been Party City, or actually, I have, I think I still have it, a staff from the Indiana Jones like thing from
Temple of Doom.
Well, I maybe, but it's from Disneyland. It was like a little prop from like the Indiana Jones area, and I had that. I was like, okay, I'll go as this person, the Ring Wraith type of thing with the staff, and it was cool.
So wait, was it like you had the robes and everything? Was it like the mask that had just like the black nothingness?
It was just empty.
Okay, yeah.
That's what a Ring Wraith is, champ.
Well, yeah, but they have those for just like. It's not Ring Wraith.
It was basically the Grim Reaper, except the robes.
Did you
were
get
tattered.
the licensed Ring Wraith costume?
I don't know. It probably said like Night Wraith.
Night Wraith.
Or it was like Phantom.
Yeah, it might have been Phantom.
Phantom seems.
Danny.
Did you ever beat the Phantom boss in Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
I don't think so.
It was a hard boss.
Yeah.
You have to cast spells on the. You have to cast spells on the clock tower. It's a pretty intricate boss fight for Kingdom Hearts.
I never really put too much effort into like doing the final or like the secret bosses.
What,
That's
like
the one thing
Kurtzisa?
I never really did.
And
yeah,
Kurtzisa was annoying as fuck.
I don't remember Curses.
That was the Agrabah one,
Okay,
the bug-looking thing.
Yeah.
It was hard.
this is a tangent and a half.
Sorry.
Okay, cake or pie? I feel like we've done this one too.
Pie, yeah.
Although if it's cheesecake, I'll take it.
I'm going cake all the
If
way.
it's moist cake,
I hate cake. I hate frosting.
I hate cake.
Yeah, I hate frosting on cake. Like,
I hate
it's
cake.
just gross.
if it's a nice moist cake, I'll take it. If it's dry, count me out.
I don't know if I've
I
ever
hate
had
all
just a
types of cake.
dry ass cake.
I mean,
I've never had a
cakes are
cake
dry
that's as
sometimes.
dry as turkey is.
I mean, I've never.
Nothing
had
is
one
as
that
dry as turkey. It's not even the Sahara Desert.
A dry, arid turkey.
Yum.
Turkey. Ugh.
Oh god, this last one is terrible. Do you ever post inspirational quotes on social media?
Not ever.
No one's ever.
Not once
or
ever.
No one in our group has ever done anything like that.
And if they did, they would get promptly roasted. Yeah.
they would take it down within the hour.
For whether they liked it or not, they
Yeah.
would be going down.
Yeah. I don't post really anything on social media, let alone an inspirational quote. I would never in a million years do that. That's just the last thing I have.
I would never do that. I would do it to roast people doing that. Maybe if I ever did that, it would be ironically.
You could
like,
do
as
like
a joke.
a quote from an anime and try to pass it off
Yeah.
as like a Martin Luther King quote or something like
That's
that.
easily doable.
That would be hilarious. Like a Naruto
Yeah,
quote.
the gears are turning in my head right now.
I was just thinking of a Naruto
We
quote.
should do it on the Not So Subtle Twitter right now.
Believe it, Martin Luther King.
Believe it. With my jutsu,
I'm gonna
I
be
will
the Hokage. Martin Luther King.
I'm gonna
I'm
be
gonna
the
be the real
Hokage.
Hokage. I feel like that could like be a meme somehow.
Probably.
Nice. All right. Well, we have a new meme, guys. You heard it first. If this goes viral, we will.
If this
have
goes, if posting
started
anime quotes with saying that it's by historical figures goes viral, it came from Not So
That's us.
Subtle.
It's that may have been done before, but I feel like I have never seen that.
The only thing that I've seen done is like someone posting like something completely like
Just
absurd and
inappropriate,
irrelevant,
yeah.
and then saying that it's by like Abraham Lincoln
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like George Washington, like something like that. But I've never seen anime quotes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a
If
hot meme.
If top 10 anime betrayals can become a meme, then I think this can.
That's true.
It's
If Corey in the House can be
Corey in
an
the
anime
House.
opening, then this can be this can be a real meme. My meme made real.
Guys, we made it to the end of the lightning round.
Who won?
We didn't get struck, and I win.
Okay.
Because I'm the keeper of the keys.
I'm the crypt keeper.
I'm the keeper of the keys.
Alright, that's fair. I'm
Well-
not going to debate it.
We had our fun, all right? We successfully started the pard cart, the pop cap, and now we're on to bigger and better things.
Guys, this is
Hang
what
on.
a stroke looks and sounds like.
I do have breaking news. Today is Colter's birthday.
Colter was found dead from a stroke. What is it? Wow.
I didn't set this. This was
Happy
Oh, is
birthday,
this-
Colter!
Can I guess who this is?
that's not.
Actually, I don't know the name of the band, but is it the band that did We're an American Band?
No.
Sorry.
It's your birthday, though.
What is it?
Do you really not know who this is?
No.
It's the Beatles.
Oh. Wow. All the Beatles fans are just crucifying me.
probably.
I can't believe they made a song called It's Your Birthday.
That's
the
a famous
Beatles.
birthday.
That's
Yeah.
not the Beatles.
Yes, it is.
I don't believe you.
That's not the Beatles.
This is the Beatles.
Okay, you don't have to bring it out. I believe you now. You don't have to show me. I believe you, okay?
With so much
Let's move on.
fervor.
Great. Okay, awesome.
It's on the White Album.
That's amazing.
That's right.
That's insane. All right.
Beatles really took it.
The
So-
Beatles sold out. They have nothing left.
They're sellouts.
And they really needed the money, so they went ahead and did a birthday song.
Colter, how do you feel?
I feel like a new man.
Do you?
Wow.
I feel like a middle-aged man. No.
Your life is almost a quarter finished. How does that feel?
It's feeling like I need to make some moves.
at this point, it's probably around a quarter finished.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
If
Not
not
many people
more.
are
It
gonna
could be
live.
more.
It's
yeah.
definitely a quarter.
It might be
finished.
half
Yeah.
over.
It could be
We
almost
could be
completely over.
90% done.
Yeah.
You never
Yeah.
know. Really.
You don't know. That's
Live
why
your
you need to
life
live.
the fullest.
With what
That's
happened
right.
to Jordan, we never know.
You'll die.
We don't know.
You
We-
never know.
Although-
you never know.
I think Jordan said a prayer to the fifth Hokage because
I did.
he came out alive.
The fifth.
I don't know anything about Naruto. Okay, I
That's-
just threw that out.
I wouldn't mind sending a prayer to Tsunade's way.
I'll just send something to the fifth Hokage if you know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean.
send that. Duh.
Just kidding. She would kill me. So
We snuck some anime in, guys.
We did.
slowly but surely
We
we'll
did
be able
it.
to interject anime at very small points, but we'll build them up into an actual segment.
Let me
That's right, anime
do a
corner.
couple different anime corner. Let me do a couple different memes
I sounded too
at
excited
the same
about
time
that.
by saying Aminu.
Amanu. Oh no.
Let me just kill all semblance of anime fervor
You
by
did.
saying
You did
Aminu.
absolutely.
You done.
It's
did it.
done.
Are we
It's-
are we past this
done.
birthday bit?
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I'm 24. I'm a grown man, and it's time to become even more grown.
You can no
Hokage.
longer say when I grow up I want to do this because you're already grown up.
Yeah.
That you stopped.
And
being
I'm
able to
none
say
of
that
them.
a long time ago.
But I still kind of say that sometimes.
You say that a lot, and it honestly it upsets me a little bit every time you say it.
But like,
Air your grievances now.
look.
Dane says multiple times, like, "Man, when I grow up, I'm like, dude, you're 20 plus years old already. You're an adult."
No, but like, dude.
You can say like, I hope in a few years I'll do this, but like, you're already grown up.
You should already be trying to do the things that you say that you want to do when you grow
I'm
up.
just waiting to die, honestly.
Okay.
It's just
You've given up. Say it.
There's just I have pretty much.
I want you
given
to say
up.
it. I want you
I've
to
given
say it.
up.
I want you to say it.
I've given up.
Now that you've said that, you can move past it and stop giving up.
Nah.
That's
No,
my
but that would require
birthday resolution.
that would require not giving up.
Getting off your fat ass.
That would require me exerting energy.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks,
happy
boys.
birthday, bud.
We out here. Guys, the next thing we're going to talk about is something near and dear to my heart. A birthday gift from Ryan Johnson, Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Boy, he
We do
really
need to
has
talk
all
about that.
your interests in mind for this birthday present.
Yeah, he definitely...
He knocked it out
It's
of the
the
park.
thought that counts,
He
right?
basically gave me a fruit cake for my birthday.
Ugh, yuck.
Oh, that's the
That's a spicy
that's the
meatball.
harshest review
That
I've
is a
heard
spicy
for
meatball.
The Last Jedi.
I went in.
That's very rude. That's so rude. I'm sorry, Ryan.
Ryan.
I'm not.
Ryan with an I. What did I do to deserve this?
Anyone whose name is Ryan with an I deserves a fruitcake for Christmas.
That's true. Just spell your name normally, man.
Jordan, you saw the film.
Yeah.
Finally. Congrats.
I saw
It's
the
been
film
5 weeks.
like a week and a half after it came out.
Yeah. It's been basically like 3 years in internet time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you get any of it spoiled firstly?
No, nothing really at all. I think last week when we talked about it, I was like, I know that there's like some like twist-ish or something that divided the fans or whatever, but
Now you know that there's a lot.
Yeah, but also, I don't know, like we'll get there eventually, but I didn't get anything spoiled for me. Like, no big plot points got spoiled, so that was fine for me, but...
Okay. Yeah, and you had a lot more context of what the movie actually kind of was than the rest of us.
Going in knowing that there were like 3 plot points, like stories happening concurrently, I was like, okay, well, I see where this is going to happen immediately, but it didn't really affect it one way or the other for me.
Okay. So, all right. So we're past the intro to this segment. Now, guys, I got this cool new Rocket League shirt, or it's not a shirt, it's a jacket. No one laughed at this bit, so now I'm gonna go back to the original topic.
I thought you had a little bit.
So
more.
I thought, yeah, I was waiting for something.
I just wanted to show off my cool Rocket League jacket, and I thought I would do it within a silly bit.
No, it's a great
really
jacket. I thought we were having an in-depth intellectual discussion about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and you detracted from that.
I did
don't
ruin
appreciate it
Immediately.
And now we're back. Jordan, how did you like it?
I was pretty much disappointed by it. That's
Thank you.
I feel like.
Thank you.
And most of that, the disappointment comes because I didn't think all of it was bad. Like Dane said, the points with Rey and Luke and Kylo were all really interesting to me. Finn and Rose, if that was her name, that whole sequence was just trash. Like, I couldn't care any less about what was happening to those characters at all. It was so unlike. There was no stakes to it at all. It was just like, what? Like, or there were kind of stakes, but then they're immediately ruined later in the movie, which I don't know how much you guys want to spoil it, but...
We should go full spoiler.
I think at this point, like Colter said, it's been 3 years in internet time. So I feel like
there are memes about it that have no spoiler warnings. So
full on spoiler discussion.
Okay, so the sequences are, I guess, the plot line with Poe and the other admiral. I don't know what her name is because she's a throwaway character.
Admiral
Who Cares is her name, because she's pointless.
Admiral Hodor.
She's literally just a plot point for this movie, which is just the worst thing you can do. That's right. Yeah. Her and Poe's storyline, again, really boring. Like, nothing happens at all. Finn and Rose could have been interesting, because I actually like Cantabile. I thought that area was cool, minus the...
What's wrong with you? No, I'm just
the like weird dog Muppet things. I don't know what those were, but they were dumb.
The setup of the city and how it was being fueled by war and all that.
That's an interesting point, especially when Benicio del Toro's character is like, "Oh, like I didn't like. It's not just the bad guys working there. There are good people who are on that planet too, getting weapons. Like, okay, you guys are finally straying away from the dark side, light side, just paradigm that's always been there, but they just don't go all the way, which is just a mistake. And they do that with Luke also, where he's like, and this is what I really enjoyed is when he's talking about like the Jedi. He's like, I don't like. The Jedi are bad people. Like, they're not all good people. They caused all this. And, like, that's an interesting thing because in, like, KOTOR and, like, some of the other, like, video games and, like, expanded universe stuff, they go into that, like, middle ground of, like, Jedi and Sith and it's not just black and white. But then also they just throw that away as well. It's just like, okay. Yeah. You guys had a moment to, like, make an interesting argument on both sides and then you just don't really go anywhere. And they never go anywhere in that whole movie, which is my problem with it.
Yeah, I think we kind of briefly talked about this, but my issue is kind of exactly what you said. Like, they take it to some very interesting places, and they go right to the edge of, like, jumping into, something completely different, or, like, going maybe not full on in one direction necessarily, like, good or bad or anything like that, but they just are going on a trajectory towards like some sort of interesting plot point, and then it just kind of halts.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing with Benicio del Toro's character and how he's like, they're kind of hinting at Finn, sort of like, no, that's not true, but you can tell that Finn's kind of like, maybe Benicio del Toro has a kind of a point about all this stuff, and then that just goes nowhere. Like, there's just a ton of, that's a really small example, but there's just tons of different things in there where you think they're about to go all in, and then they just stop.
I mean, the bigger example is Kylo and Rey. It's like
Yeah.
that moment right there.
That's
like,
the biggest example.
In my head, I was screaming. I was like, someone choose a side. Just one of you pick a side, and both of you be on the same side. And then, of course, they can't do it because it's Star Wars, and they have to have light side versus dark side. And, like, at that moment, I was just like, yeah, like, of course it had to happen like this. I didn't want it to. I wanted either Kylo to join the light side or Rey to join the dark side and watch that movie, but it wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. You meant one of you switch sides.
Well, yeah, or join the other side is what I wanted, but it doesn't happen, and I'm not surprised by that, but I wanted that to happen.
I hate to say this, but I did want that to happen, but then when I was thinking about what would happen if it did, I immediately wouldn't want it to happen, because if Rey went to the dark side, then there's no one interesting on the light side, in my opinion, to oppose her.
Finn could have been awesome. Like
Finn was, I liked him in
I
Force
lost
Awakens.
all interest in him in this movie. Like,
this movie ruined him.
Yeah,
but
I actually loved his
completely
character in the
ruined.
first one, but
Yeah, he was way more interesting, and then he just gets thrown off into the just dumb kiddie corner part of the movie, which is just the worst. It's so bad. Like, the whole sequence, and it builds up. This is actually the part that frustrated me the most, is when they're starting to get towards the end, and they have, like, the plans, and Benicio del Toro and Finn and Rose are all on the ship, and Poe was talking to the captain, and it's like, okay, we have these people on the ship, we're going to rescue them, we're going to destroy the, like, star monster ship or whatever, and then the captain's just like, no, we're not going to do that, and she doesn't tell them their plan all along, which is that their plan can just save everyone by sending it to the base. It's like, if you had just told everyone that plan, what the fuck are you even doing, like, with Finn and them? Like, just tell them the whole plan, you guys all would have been safe.
They've
like,
kind of, like, tried to explain that by saying that he got demoted, so she actually doesn't, like, have to tell him anything.
Yeah, but, like, she should, to stop, to, like, let everyone know. Like, that's, like, and then also Leia tries to save her at some point.
She never tells anyone on the ship that we know of.
Except Leia, apparently. But then Leia at one point just like, oh, she didn't say that because she doesn't really want to be known as a hero. It's like, well, no.
That was the dumbest
You're
thing.
not a hero.
That was
You
stupid.
fucking killed everyone. Like, everyone died because of you. Like, you're an idiot. Like, that I was just so frustrated at that moment because it's just poor, like, plot development. It's so bad.
The thing that I hated, and I think I said this at last episode also without spoiling anything, but I said it kind of felt like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, that whole thing when they cut back, like, so it's weird because the movie itself feels disjointed. Like, all the scenes with Rey and Kylo and Luke feel, like, really well directed, and, like, the acting is all really good, in my opinion. Like, I think Adam Driver's great, I think Daisy Ridley's great, and then Mark Hamill doesn't really feel like he's a zombie walking through this role. Like, I actually thought he was pretty good. And, like, the cinematography and, like, all the music and everything is so great in there. And then whenever they cut back to the ship, like, anything else in the movie, when they cut to it just feels like a really weird, like, I don't even know, like a Star Trek, like, I don't know. I just hate seeing, like, normal people on the ship talking about bullshit with fuel, like, and, like, oh my god, like, it's just,
I mean, it's basically some Star Trek type stuff.
Like,
it's just stupid. Like, it's not what I wanted in my Star Wars movie.
It
lost all feeling of, like, that epic space opera.
I don't care for any of those characters to spend time watching a whole movie about them. Like, I'm in it for Star Wars. Those characters are completely worthless to me at this point. Like, they're not, I didn't even like them that much in the first movie because they didn't have enough time to shine in anything, and in this movie they're just relegated to these awful roles. It's just like, or the moment at the end that kind of pissed me off a lot too is when Poe comes up to Rey and just like, you're Rey, right? And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, oh, like, we all know you. Just like, Poe, shut the fuck up. Like, you're just a knock-on character who's just following her at this point. Like, this like fake chemistry between all the characters bothers me a lot because none of them seem to have real chemistry with each other.
The parts that kind of weirded me out were where anything between Rey and Finn.
Yeah, I don't feel like they know each other at all. Like, it just makes no sense to me.
Like, where it's like, oh my god, like,
I mean, that was the whole first movie, is like they're trying to help each other out,
but they're also not with each other for that long either. Like, not like. I just don't.
Not for a long time, but they've been through stuff. Like, remember when they were in the Millennium Falcon, like, trying to escape the TIE fighters, and they both, like, worked together to, like,
I get that stuff, but I just don't feel like they, I don't know, it feels forced to me is the thing. Like, that, it feels like they're just trying to force that on to
they didn't spend, like, good time, like, talking to each other. And,
there's,
like, you know,
there's no, like, downtime between them. They're not hanging out at a bar, like, drinking. Like, they're just in there for the action and out, and that's not fast. Like, it's not enough time to care for me, and that's how I felt about the whole movie.
Well, there's that, but then also, like, I just don't... It seems so strange because the first thing that Finn asks anyone is, like, where's Rey?
Yeah.
Like, what's Rey doing? Where's Rey? And then the whole time, like, his whole plot point in the movie is literally just, we need to get the ship to safety. I need to get to safety so that I can help Rey.
Yeah, and then also during the movie,
just doesn't seem like
Rey doesn't give a shit. Like, how many times you're just like, oh, can't, like, are Finn and, like, the rebels, like, she doesn't care. Like,
well, the only time there is the moment where she goes to the Millennium Falcon to talk to Chewie before going off with Luke to go do something. Somewhere after, like, her last conversation with Kylo.
Yeah.
And then she says to Chewie, it's like, oh yeah, and make sure, like, you get a message out to Finn or whatever, or like check on Finn or something like that. And then she also tells Chewie to relay a message to Finn if he sees him before she leaves to go to
that whole, like, all the main characters besides, like, Rey and Kylo, like, I don't care about. And
I think Rey is a pretty good character at this point. I think Kylo is probably my favorite character in this new.
Kylo's the most consistent character and, like, the one that we know the most and care the most. Or I don't know about know the most, but we care the most about him because like, we know his backstory.
Yeah.
I mean,
we follow his motivations.
He had the most backstory filled out in this one, and, like, he actually seems like a fully fleshed out character, whereas everyone else is just plot service, which is just, like, that's not how you build a good universe.
Right.
Yeah.
And that annoys me, but also, like, the movie disappointed me because the one sequences, like, towards the very end were fantastic. Like, when they're not so much the part when they're inside the mining area, but when Luke or his apparition comes, like, that sequence was pretty awesome. Like, when he's just standing out there and, like, the picture of, like, the shot of all the AT-ATs just staring him down while, like, the sun is setting, I was like, damn, that's cool ass shit right there.
There's some epic shit at the end, and, like, Colter, you said this movie had one of your favorite Star Wars scenes of all time.
Yeah.
Which one? Which scene?
So when Rey and Kylo team up to fight the Praetorian
guards,
that's just one of the best things I've ever seen, like, in any movie.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when that was happening, I was just like, this is the lightsaber action that we've deserved for, since Star Wars was invented.
Yeah.
Much like.
In like,
I was hoping that was the scene you were talking about.
Yeah, in the theater, and where, like, it's the opening night, like, it was difficult to get tickets, like, for the premiere night or whatever. Everybody's, like, huge Star Wars fans, and when, like, everybody was a little lukewarm, or, like, to be honest, like, people weren't, like, cheering as loud or, like, as much on board as, like, people or Rian Johnson would hope.
Right.
But when that happened, everybody was just like, oh, and, like, when it slows down and you, like, see that they're about to, like, the guards are coming at them, and you know that they're about to, like, go in on these guys. That was just so sick.
Yeah, there's that epic shot where they both turn around and they're both looking around, like, back to back, and they're all encroaching on them, and I really like that. The very start of that is intense, but then also, like, the actual helming of that scene was just great film work. Like, there was great camera work. The stunt work I thought was really good. There's that classic scene where, she throws in the lightsaber and he just burns that guy right in the head with it. Like, there's a lot of cool moments. And Kylo's a badass.
He's cool.
The way he fights is pretty badass, pretty aggressive. It's cool.
I really like that. Although my favorite scene from that movie was the very end when Luke is about to die, I guess, and is sitting there and he sees, like, the two moons and it's playing, like, the classic soundtrack. I was like, yes. Like,
that was pretty cool.
Like, that's literally, like, that one character is the last, like, hope I have of that series, and he's gone now, which is disappointing, but I was just like, wow, that was, like, a really touching scene to, like, if you're gonna put him out of the movie, you might as well do it in a way that was, like, really touching like that. I really liked
that was a cool scene. I actually really liked the
part where Leia is flying through space to get back in the ship.
We don't ever talk about that ever. What did you think of that sequence?
Well, can I just go back to the previous thing? I don't know. I didn't love the fact that he died, like, for the most part. It was just like he completed that thing, and I guess it makes sense that, like, since he did that crazy ass, like, stunt, like, that took all of his power or something like that. Like, that was his shining moment, like, as a Jedi or whatever. And it's cool that he did that, but I was like, when it went back to him and he was like, yeah, I did it. It was like, all right, yeah, like, he's in the fight now. Like, we're on board for this battle. And then it's like, oh, he's he died?
Don't get me wrong. I didn't want him to die, and I wish he was still in the movie because he was my favorite character in that movie. So, like, by a long shot, I would think. But I'm sad that he died, but, like, this is not his story anymore, so I can't, like... I wasn't expecting him to become a major hero in the movie, honestly.
Yeah, it's not even, like, just the fact that he died in this movie. It's, just the execution of, like, almost everything in this movie left me unsatisfied. So, yeah, that was just another example of something that was just, like, okay, like, you could have done this way cooler. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And the whole thing with the, like, twin sons, it's, like, whatever. Like, okay, we're going to do that again. Like, they did that at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like, they did that, you know, in episode 4, and now they're doing it again in this. It's like, all right.
But that's a classic, like, Skywalker, like, you know, theme, or, you know.
I guess. I mean,
it's an iconic
Can you
shot.
see that exact vantage point, like, on every different planet? Or I guess it's on Tatooine twice, but then, yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It's a little shoehorned in for me. It's like, guys, it's like poetry. It rhymes. We have to do, like, some of the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
I think they didn't even say, or someone said that they never said, I have a bad feeling about this in this movie, which they've said in every single movie thus far. It's like, there's some things that happen in every single movie that, like, why would you break the chain on such a small thing? Like, literally one line of dialogue. And then...
Did they not?
I don't know.
I thought they did. I thought they said something about that when they were in the, like, rickety speeders going towards the AT-ATs.
Yeah, I could be wrong about that, but I don't remember a time where
I don't remember.
That was another moment that caused me a severe amount of anger, is when Rose crashed her ship into Finn's in an attempt, she's like, I saved you. And again, I was like, no, you killed everyone again. Like, you keep killing the rebels. Stop messing up everything. You're just ruining the story.
Yeah.
I didn't even like Rose's character.
I was on such a, like, a separated from the movie itself point at that point that I was just like, oh, okay, Finn's, like, not dead. Like, I'm glad about that. Like, I like Finn as a person, and, like, as even just his John Boyega. I just think John Boyega is dope. Like, he's a cool guy. So I don't know. I like him, and I was glad that he didn't die. So.
But again, I think that was mostly me thinking that, like, oh, they're almost about to take the risk I want, and then they stop just short of actually completing it, which is just like, it's like, yeah.
That's what I mean. By the end of this movie, like, I felt like nothing had changed. Like, nothing had really happened.
Different. Like, it's just the next movie, I'm sure they're gonna fight, and Kylo is gonna turn to the light side, and that's the end of this arc, because this is the Star Wars arc that happens and always happens, and it will every single time. It's just like,
I hope not. I don't know.
Listen, I've been saying that for the last 2 movies. I hope this. It's always the same. Like, they haven't proved me wrong yet, and I don't think they're going to at this point. After seeing this movie, I can't see, if Rian Johnson is directing every movie from now on, nothing. It's going to be the same thing, and I just am not excited for that. Like, that doesn't make me excited.
Well, actually, J.J. Abrams is directing episode 9.
Well,
but, well, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I heard last. I don't know. It feels like Star Wars is changing all the time. So
who knows? They could throw someone in at the last minute that they can puppet.
I'm gonna say this right now. Rogue One was a better movie than this.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue One was paint by the numbers to some degree.
I didn't like Rogue One at all,
it.
but I think it was better than this movie on general. But I don't like Rogue One very much. But
I like that movie.
Name any character's name other than Jyn or so from that movie.
I couldn't even have said that name. I know 0 names of the characters in that movie. They're all forgettable.
K2SO, of course.
Yeah, that classic stereotype robot. Love him.
What? He's great.
He was actually good.
He is good, but also,
hilarious.
Of course he is, because he's the snarky robot, and that's just like, all the robot characters are always great, right? Name one bad robot character. You can't do it because they're all good.
BB-9E.
BB-9E, Black BB-8.
BB-9E?
That's the evil BB-8.
Okay, remember when he had a pivotal role in the film?
Yeah, that's true. He did cause their downfall, which is impressive, but
I don't even know if it was really him.
Well, BB-9E saw BB-8 in the little, like, thing.
In his disguise.
He's like, that's not BB-8.
He's like, that's a moving box, guys.
Or he's like, that's not a trash can.
Yeah, he's like, hang on, why is that trash can rolling around like that?
He's smarter than any human, because
apparently everyone was just walking by the trash can moving across the ground, and no one questioned it.
BB-8 hits one of the stormtroopers, and he's just like, that happens all the time, right? The trash can hit me,
he like turns around and he's like,
Fucking trash can.
Fuck you, trash can.
It's like the trash cans that they probably have like all over the freaking.
Yeah,
They all do
place.
that. They're like,
I mean, it
"Can I
was
hit
because
again?"
he just picked it up like it was nothing and just jumped out all the trash and then threw it on
Yeah.
BB-8.
But yeah.
No one's gonna know this is a trash can.
Can we talk about how Captain Phasma was wasted again?
Captain
it's
Phasma
pretty,
is a
unfortunate.
non character at this point. Like what?
It was just she was completely wasted.
So much hype was built up about her. It was like, wow, look at this Captain Phasma. She's pretty cool. She has 2 scenes. It's like what? Like what
Yeah.
is happening with her?
The one scene that
Get
she
out.
has in the first movie ends with her being thrown in a trash can.
Yeah.
and this one she ends up being like they start a fight with Finn, which could be cool because
Honestly, the fight was cool.
it was barely a fight. It was like they clashed weapons once and then it cuts to another scene and then you think Finn's dead and then he just kills Phasma.
By that time, I was so just disparaged with the rest of the film. I was like, this is okay. I
Like
don't
the
care
fight
about
I
this.
just didn't care
Guys,
about.
but
and, like,
remember when the fruition of the entire Finn arc came when he said "rebel scum" instead
Yeah.
of just scum. So that actually was incredibly satisfying. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, that was supposed to be like the end of his arc in this movie, is that he decided that he really is rebel. I was reading a tweet like thread where this guy was explaining how the Canto Bite scene was good.
Please tell.
And he was just like,
I don't want to hear this.
I mean, he was just basically like Finn wasn't like, or he was doing it like because of Rey to like leave the ship initially. Like he wasn't doing it for like he's not officially part of the Rebel Alliance, if you like
Yeah.
remember or whatever. He's just like he has his own agenda or whatever to like save Rey. And then once he goes to the planet, he sees like the larger picture of what he could be fighting for if he were part of the Rebel Alliance. And so at the end, he decides to officially become part of the Rebel Alliance.
I mean, I get
Wasn't that great? Didn't you get that?
I get that, but then I almost feel the opposite. I feel like Finn was being he was like conflicted whether or not he even wanted to be a part of any of this at all, because the very last scene that he has with Benicio del Toro is when he like you see they basically find out that Benicio sold him out. Whatever what was his name?
DJ.
Okay, sure. So
Benicio.
Benicio.
when Del Toro, when the Codemaster
There you go.
said
The Game
he
Master.
like sold them out, and you obviously see like he has that palette of like money or like weapons
Credits.
or whatever. Is it credits? Is that what it
Yes.
is? I don't know. I didn't know if it was
Christ,
like
have you even watched Star Wars?
I didn't know if it was like weapons or
kidding me?
what. But anyway, so he gets all those credits, and then he's like, oh, whatever, war. It's just business or whatever. And then Finn is like, the whole time he's been watching him in like how he operates and everything. And then he's like, no, you're wrong about all this. And then he's like, am I? I don't know. And then maybe, and then he just walks away. And then Finn has that look on his face where he's like, maybe yes, maybe I am.
I didn't get that at all from that.
I don't know. Like the way I was reading Finn was that he wasn't fully convinced one way or another that any of that was worth his time.
Worth Finn's time? Or
Yeah.
I assumed that sequence was him being like, that's not true, Del Toro. You're a good guy on the inside. And let him go on his way.
But it doesn't matter because this was all before he said the phrase "rebel scum."
It's true.
That,
It also,
I know.
It doesn't matter because none of it matters, and they're all coming back. So we'll see what happens next time. Can't wait.
I was just so bored with all of Rose and Finn's scenes. Like,
Yeah.
just
Really on it. Like, 2/3 of that movie I hated. 1/3 I enjoyed, mostly.
Yeah, we've hit the Rose and Finn thing pretty hard.
Yeah.
But we should go through some other
positives.
items from the movie.
Positives?
Luke throwing his lightsaber over his shoulder. What do you think about that?
I liked that actually.
What do you mean?
I
What
liked.
scene is that?
At the very beginning, when Rey hands him the lightsaber, like from The Force Awakens,
Oh. And he just dumps on the ground.
And then
he's
no,
like,
and then he
"Fuck
just, and he just throws it behind.
yeah, I mean,
he makes a silly face and goes, "Meh."
he clearly doesn't want to be part of this, and I did Luke's character like upset people? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like Luke at all in this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I liked him because he represents like the middle ground, or like he represents the idea that not everything is light side, dark side, but they still don't go all the way.
Great idea. And Red Letter Media pretty much hit this hardest when they said that there's so many great ideas in this movie, but the execution is just completely off.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that.
Luke is like no different on that with me. Like, good ideas. He brings up good points about the Jedi, but like, was it fun to watch? Did I enjoy Luke? Like, did I think it was satisfying? No.
I didn't, like, I am glad his part ended the way it did, with him at least kind of coming back and being useful, but I did want him to do something earlier in the movie, just so he could be someone, you know, and not just grumpy old man.
Yeah, and the flashbacks with, like, the Jedi Temple and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like Luke to me. Like, when watching The Force Awakens, that was Han Solo. Like, that was a really... He did a great job of reprising the character, like, basically exactly how he was, and, like, I believed it 100%. Like, oh, this is a continuation of the Star Wars saga, like, as far as Han Solo goes. But with Luke, it was like, okay, this is a completely different character, and I don't like it. But, I mean, that might just be because Han Solo was, like, he was behaving exactly like he did in the old ones, as if nothing has changed, even though it's been so many years. So, maybe I'm just an idiot.
I was going to say, this is, like, the most invested I've been with Luke probably ever.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Well, no, like, in terms of, I mean, I don't want to totally trash Star Wars at this point, but I never thought Mark Hamill was that great of an actor. I never really thought Luke's performance was, like, you know, the sole reason that I watched Star Wars or anything like that. But I was more interested in more, like, I felt like I was giving more attention to Luke in this movie, just because of, not necessarily that I liked his character as much as anyone else's, but the fact that he was saying and doing all these things that were very different and out of place for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't... it was so different than... And maybe that's why people didn't like it, because it wasn't like his character, but I liked that it wasn't like him, because it was actually, like... It just kind of, like, caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, I think...
Like, it made me pay attention, because I was like, well, this is kind of strange. Like, why is he doing this?
Yeah, I think maybe part of it was that I didn't buy that he had transformed into the person that he showed in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, like, which is what... I think that's the main qualm that, like, everyone has with it, who doesn't like it.
Yeah, and
which I get.
It shows that, or they show the flashbacks and everything about how the Jedi Temple, you know, got destroyed and stuff, which I feel like that could have been cool if they showed a lot more, like, actually training Jedis. By the way, where are the Knights of Ren? Are we going to come back to that at all, or is that just a throwaway piece of shit?
I think what they said was that well, they didn't actually mention, they didn't even say Knights of Ren in this movie, but they mentioned that Kylo killed off most of the students and left with 6 of them, and those are the Knights of Ren.
I mean, we know about it, but I wish they could have, like, showed something.
They
literally didn't even show inside the Jedi Temple. It's like, do you guys not have the budget to, like,
show
the
they
Jedi Temple
definitely have the budget.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys.
They can make literally
show a
anything
little less
happen
casino,
at this point.
a little more history of the Jedi, please.
Yeah.
But no, that I liked what they showed, but I felt like they could have showed more.
What if this entire movie was just
good?
Yes, but what if this entire movie was literally just Kylo, Luke, and Rey, and, like, maybe, you know, some Snoke stuff.
I think they should have spent, like, a lot more time, like, with.
Oh, like, I mean, like, 100% just them and not even have Finn or anyone in there, and then, like,
I
think it could have been good.
In the 9th movie, not have any of the plot lines that they did in this one, but, like, maybe at a certain point show, like, what was happening with them during this time, and have something, I don't know what that would be, but just show, like, you know, while they were doing all this stuff with Luke and all that, this is what Finn was doing, and then, you know, have the next storyline or whatever, or, like, somehow explain, because, like, with Lord of the Rings in the Two Towers and, you know, Return of the King in each movie, or mostly the second two, like, there's just characters that are completely absent from those movies for, like, you know, 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
Because there's actually, like, things happening around the world, and in this case, the galaxy, like, while other people are doing their own shit.
Yeah.
Like, they could have just been done all Jedi on this one.
There's a way to include Poe and Finn and all of them in a way that isn't just, like, give them their own section of the movie. Like, the whole storyline, just, I wasn't interested in the whole thing. It was just like, well, this ship is going to chase this ship for 20 hours, I guess. It's like, What?
Well,
Like,
my problem with
is
it,
just so boring.
yeah, that was really boring. But my problem, like I said, is that it just feels so disjointed. Like it literally feels like 3 separate movies, and then it feels like, you know, at some point in each little, like, you know, mini movie that they have, it's like they remember that there's another thing going on, and they're like, well, we have to do it because of Rey, duh. And then you know, Rey mentions Finn once, and she never meant, like, she just shows up. I could just go on and on about stupid shit. Like, she just shows up at whatever the last planet is, at the base with the Millennium Falcon. Like, I get that she has, like, the locator that she's been following the entire movie, but there's never a scene explaining that she's heading there. There's never a scene explaining that she, like, knows intimately what's going on with the battle and that she's helping to, like, distract everyone. Like, it just, she shows up and then it's like, oh, the Millennium Falcon's here, guys. And it's just
there's a lot that I was just like, this is just exactly Star Wars. Like, oh, here's another, we're gonna take the Millennium Falcon through the tiny corridor again. It's like, yep, that's in every movie, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Do it a little better, please. Like,
but the 2 sons was completely necessary.
But that's a touching moment. Like, that's literally the main character of Star Wars dying and giving a respectful tribute to him. And this is the Millennium Falcon flying through a corridor with Rey again.
Touching moment. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, I don't care about the Millennium Falcon in a way I care about Luke Skywalker. Like,
yeah.
If the Millennium Falcon blows up, I'll be a little disappointed, but I'm not going to feel bad about it. It's a ship. It's not one of the characters.
What we need is 95% more lightsaber battles directed exactly like the one with Kylo and Rey, because that was the best shit ever.
Speaking of the Millennium Falcon, my favorite character, Nien Nunb, survived throughout this entire movie and lives to see another day, unlike Admiral Akbar.
It turns out it was a trap after all.
It was a trap, and indeed, Nien Nunb was there to
survive. Pablo.
Yeah, we call him Pablo.
Why do we call him Pablo?
Because he laughs in a certain way that sounds kind of like a guy named Pablo would laugh, and I'm not going to imitate it.
Can we hear that?
Not from me, but
can
we bring it up?
Just give it a shot.
I'll pull it up while we're talking at some point. Give it a shot. It's an in-joke. Like, the whole time when we were watching, we were, like, waiting until he showed up on screen to, like...
Just to yell,
like,
Pablo. Pablo!
And when he showed up in The Force Awakens, we were, like... When they were talking about the Death Star, and it's showing different people around the console...
Yeah, it just shows him.
It shows Nien Nunb, like, behind someone, and we're just... yeah! So, yeah, that was great. And then people around were like...
why are they clapping?
You don't know Nien Nunb?
Nyum nyum.
Nyum nyum nyum.
You don't know nyum nyum nyum.
I like how no one, like, when I don't even know how we latched onto that character, but we had to look up his name.
Yeah.
Because no one knows his name.
Me and my brother were watching the original trilogy, and we just saw that guy and named him Pablo, and just... Once you name something, you know, you get an attachment to it.
That's true, and then you have to find out what his real name is.
Yeah.
And no one would have ever guessed Nien Nunb.
Or Plo Koon.
Oh, dude, Plo Koon is
which
badass.
has a racial slur in it.
You're not wrong.
But it's hyphenated.
It's not, actually. It's just 2
Really?
words, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay,
and he also has an orange lightsaber. Oh, wait. He doesn't.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with toast.
I smell toast.
Okay, going back to... Just real quick, the throwing the lightsaber over the shoulder, that was the beginning of the end for me. As soon as that happened, I knew that things were wrong. You shouldn't play that as a comedic moment. Like, they played it as humor, and the entire, like... People have a problem with saying that there was too much humor in this movie, but...
There was.
I was about to say,
if it's not funny, then it's bad.
Did you feel like there was too much humor in this movie?
The first, minutes of the movie, I was like, they were trying, it's like some weird bit with, like, Poe and someone.
With Poe and Hux?
Yeah,
it was prank call thing.
I was like,
a lot of people really hated that. I didn't actually hate
I like that,
because remember when
actually.
he was like, you talk first, I talk first? Like, that's not nearly to the same level, but he's been known to, like, crack a joke in the middle of a serious
But yeah,
situation.
just, like,
he did that right with Kylo, right? Yeah.
I was like, this is just dumb. Like, a prank call, really?
It's like, does that even make sense in this universe?
No.
And then he says, a lot of people were making fun of how he says a your mom joke, like Hux's mom or something like that. I don't remember that part exactly.
He does do that.
Because he says, like, oh, I'll just hold, or like when he's saying, Hux, pasty white guy, I'll just hold, and then he's like, can you hear me? He's doing that whole thing, and then he's like, oh, I have a message to deliver for him, or like I have like a message to relay to him or something like that. And then there's a pause, and he's like, from his mother. And then that's when Hux is like,
that's like, I didn't even
really
pick up on that.
It's like a pause, and then he says it right at the end of the scene.
Yeah. It's honestly not even worth the time that we've given it thus far.
I mean,
I felt like his reaction to it was fun, or Hux's like straight man reaction to it, not straight man as in
straight-laced,
heterosexual, but the classic funny man, straight man situation.
Right.
Like, to me, it's just like there's time and place for humor, but when the Imperial fleet is on your tail about to murder you, it's like, is this really a time? Like, this isn't this is a serious moment, but it's not at all because of Poe. Like,
someone dies like moments later in like a bomb dropping.
Yeah, immediately afterwards, a bunch of people die from a bombing run. It's like, come on, guys, like, what are you doing? This
and
is
he's
stupid.
just like doing a prank call that like is really weird. Yeah.
Strange movie.
Another controversial thing, Yoda, Force Ghost Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually loved all the Yoda stuff.
I enjoyed Yoda. He looked a little bit weird. If you look at screenshots of it,
he looks like puppet Yoda.
It looks a little bit, even though it's puppet Yoda, something's weird about it. I think it's because we were talking about how nowadays if you do like a puppet or something like that, it doesn't look as good because there's not the veneer of like VHS filter on there.
Yeah, but that's probably accurate, but I liked the Yoda stuff. I thought it was a cool callback to, and there was some humor in there too where he was like hitting Luke or whatever, but that's just what he does on Dagobah also in Empire.
Yeah.
Like it almost felt like a little like I don't know, it was like a window into like what an old fashioned kind of Star Wars movie would have been when Luke was old. Like, because it just felt like their classic little, banter and dialogue that they have with each other. Because I think on Dagobah, Luke and Yoda get to that point where they're not really like master and apprentice. They're kind of like they become equals and they become like friends.
But Red Letter Media brought up that he like Yoda is joking around at first and doing silly stuff because he's trying to throw Luke off to the fact that he's actually the master, and then as soon as he reveals that he's the master, he's dead serious like throughout the rest of the like Empire Strikes Back. So it's kind of weird that Yoda would be acting like silly, but I don't know, I didn't find a huge problem with Yoda telling like a joke, which he does.
I just kind of saw it as that thing where like Yoda was coming back and he's Yoda. He knew that like he's dead at this point. He can just do whatever. He's like Force Ghost living in Force Land or whatever, and he doesn't care. And so he just is saying hi to his buddy Luke and just being weird, which I appreciated. Because it was a cool, and same with the scene with Luke and R2-D2 in the Millennium Falcon. I thought was interesting because it just kind of like in that moment, like I saw Luke Skywalker. Like when you're saying that you didn't really buy his character or whatever, like I totally bought that was the same character when he was talking to Yoda and to R2. I thought.
What do you think about the Yoda?
Like I thought it was fine. He seemed like the one from Empire Strikes Back a little bit, and that's fine. Yeah. His look seemed strange to me because it looked like he was a puppet, but also he wasn't, it was weird.
I think
he looked like he was a puppet, but
CGI
it was
puppet.
a puppet. Yeah.
He is a puppet, and they had Frank Oz do all this stuff.
But also, he looked like he was a melting puppet.
Yeah, the other thing is that the voice, the lip sync is still weird because he's a puppet, and it's just like, guys, come on, like, why does this have to be like this? It doesn't have to be that perfect. He can not do the puppet. It's fine.
Just I like puppet Yoda. I hate CGI Yoda.
He already looks weird. Like, I don't know.
CGI Yoda is like...
They kind of perfected his Jedi Master look with the CGI, but since it's CGI, it's automatically worse.
It just doesn't look... There's that whole weird thing where, like, his expressions look totally fake.
In CG?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or I don't know where you're going with that.
No, I just don't like how... It's like when there's really bad... Like, what was the most recent thing? Oh, the... Anita, like, Battle Angel or whatever that thing is called.
Yeah.
Like, her... Like... And that's just with any CGI in general, but the expressions are off. Like, the speed of, like, blinking and, like, just natural expressions of, like, ears moving and, like, just the face moving in general just looks too weird. And when it's Yoda and he's, like, obviously a weird-looking alien, I don't have any preconceived notions of what that's supposed to be. So if it's a puppet, that's fine. I mean, when I see CGI after seeing the puppet, it looks weird and strange. So I appreciate that they didn't go CGI again.
Fair enough. Yeah, it did cement the like fever dream atmosphere that was happening in the whole movie. Like nothing I predict or like want to happen is happening. Just weird ass things are happening left and right, and I'm just what is happening? Okay.
We have a few more things to touch upon.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel about them completely erasing and trashing every mystery or question that J.J. Abrams brought up in Force Awakens? Snoke,
it's dumb.
Rey's parents. There must have been another one.
Why so concerned?
Why Maz had the lightsaber?
Yeah, it seemed like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it so that you couldn't have possibly guessed, or if you did guess, you were doing like a dumb guess." Like that was a weird way of saying it, but he was so concerned with like not having any of the fan theories have thought of it first that he like just didn't do anything interesting. Yeah. He was like, let's do just something that's silly.
The one thing that I liked out of that, I didn't like how they didn't explain anything with Snoke. I don't know why that was. I just don't. I didn't care about Snoke. I didn't like any of the Snoke scenes, and I would have liked it a lot more if we had gotten some sort of backstory about why, like his rise to power, or like how he came across Kylo or something, or like if Kylo came to him, or they just never explain anything about that, and maybe they will, but I just didn't like any of that. But the one I did like was
hold on that point. Someone did a kind of savage remark. Don't forget what you were going to say, by the way.
I won't.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. Someone said a savage thing that was like saying, "Oh, the Emperor," like back in the original trilogy days. Like, who's the Emperor? What is his backstory? Like,
yeah.
Are we ever going to find out? We never did until the prequels.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he's just like a faceless emperor.
That's true, but with Snoke, it was like, I don't know. There was like some sort of like, there's just so many questions at that point when, after so many years of Darth Vader being dead and the Emperor, like that, the fall of
like
the
if
Empire
he's so
like
strong,
that.
Where was he, and why don't we know anything?
Exactly. Like it just feels so strange that now Snoke is the supreme leader of this giant military force. Like they even say in the beginning that not Kylo or Hux or anyone, like Snoke is sending out military bands to like conquer planets and all this kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then you never like find out what his motives are. Like at this point, he's just a bad guy who wants to conquer the galaxy, I guess. I mean, there's no, which I guess is fine, but they just never explain anything about that. And he just feels like he really does at this point feel like the faceless, like evil cloaked bad guy. And I feel like he was billed as being a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So it's upsetting. But the thing I liked actually out of this was Rey's parents not being anyone special. I actually really enjoyed that.
It's fair enough, but it's not exciting.
No, it's not exciting, but the thing that was exciting to me is hopefully the trajectory they're taking it, where the Skywalker saga or whatever has ended, and up to this point, all of the Jedi that we've seen have been in some way related to. Well, not all of them, but the main ones that the story is really focused around has just been like the Skywalker family or like immediate friends and like relatives or whatever.
Yeah.
But which was a little bit heavy-handed at the end of Last Jedi when they have the kid walk out and like force grab the broom and like walk up and look at the Millennium Falcon or whatever, like going off. Was it, or whatever ship they were on, when it like goes to light speed and the kid's like, whoa. But I like how they're kind of portraying it where Luke Skywalker is not really like this mystical figure, and like they didn't really need Luke Skywalker, like this Jedi hero legend dude, to come in and save the rebels. It was just like they needed some sort of symbol, or they needed some sort of like icon of this, whatever they want it to be, whatever they want the Jedi to be. But it's not. I mean, Luke Skywalker was just a boy from Tatooine. Like he was just this kid that was thrown into this. And so I think it's interesting that they're showing that with, again, kind of heavy-handed with the kid grabbing the broom, but they're showing that really anyone out there could be like the next Luke Skywalker, theoretically. Like it's just there's something cool about showing that he's just a man. He's not like this like biblical figure. Or
But it
something
also,
like that. But he's just billed as being one, and he has to deal with like that weight, or, like that
I
pressure
like
that's
that
put on
whole
him.
thing with Luke. But as far as Rey and not having parents, or like, you know, anyone special as a parent, it does just tear down everything, or like it does not follow up at all on The Force Awakens, which was she knows how to do everything already. She knows how to fly the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo, and Han Solo looks at her. It shows shots that they set up on purpose to show that Han Solo looks at her in a way that's like mysterious, like, who is this? And then he like is looking at her, he's like, oh, I want you to like be a member of my crew. He doesn't say that exactly, but he like offers her a position on the crew. Like, what was that whole thing all about? We're never gonna get an answer on that. And like, she's a Mary Sue. Like, they never disproved that she was a Mary Sue. So like,
yeah, no, I know that. Like that part is
that made me annoyed.
That part is upsetting, and I also, a lot of people have said that they're like, well, Kylo could have been lying to her, like Kylo could have been saying all that kind of
That's
stuff
the one
just to
saving
like
grace for that.
Yeah, just to like put her in a position where she felt like vulnerable or weakened or something, so that she would join him. Because it even seemed like, the one thing I actually really liked when I was reading some of the fan theories or some of the discussion, and I think this was on Reddit, I want to say, but there was something where they were saying that and that's what makes me believe that Kylo was probably lying to her, but for now I still kind of like the idea of her just being a normal person, even though the Mary Sue thing's kind of annoying. But Kylo says something about, or he's saying all those things to her, like, you're nothing, like your parents, you're nothing, nothing.
Which has become a meme.
It's hilarious though. I still like Adam Driver's performance, but that was weird.
He's good.
Yeah, but when he was saying all that stuff, and then he says, like, you're nothing but not to me, join me, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of all of that, he says, he's, like, shaking his hand out, and she's not doing anything, and he's like, please. He says, please, like, really, like, sadly. And so I feel like that shows
I read that thread, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's showing that he's, like, which they've been doing all along, but he's, like, trying to convince himself that what he's doing is right, and that he's, like, not totally fucking up his life and doing all these crazy things out of, you know, for no reason. And so then when he's saying please, that makes me believe that he was saying really whatever Rey wanted to hear, or like whatever he thought she wanted to hear, so that she would join him and he wouldn't be like all alone in this thing that he's doing. So when I read that, I was like, that does make sense. Like he's desperate enough at that point to really say whatever whatever he thinks that Rey needs to hear, so that he won't be a loner. So he could be lying. He might be lying. I don't know.
Yeah.
No one does.
J.J.
I think
Abrams,
it's somewhat likely.
Another question. Will J.J. Abrams answer the questions that were asked in episode 7?
In flashbacks, because every question is dead, so.
He's I was going to say he's much better at asking questions than answering them, as we know from his many exploits.
True. But I almost think that I'm curious to see what he does, because he's been given like a blank slate essentially. Like at the end of this movie, I have no preconceptions or any like even predictions about where the story is going to go, because they didn't really like set up anything.
Yeah,
they broke a lot of things down, sort of, but like they didn't leave much open.
That's why I kind of I was thinking, like, is there a way that they could have made this whole thing, episode 7 and 8, into one movie and had it be satisfying? What if they had just like taken the stuff with Finn, or not Finn, Rey, Kylo, and Snoke and Luke? What if they had just like taken only that stuff and shoehorned it into episode 7 and cut like episode 7 down a little bit? Would that have been
better.
Interesting? I think I would.
It's a more complete story, at least at the start, but
yeah.
I just honestly think that my personal, the way that I would have liked it to go is that episode 7 can be whatever. Like, I liked Force Awakens. I had a few issues here and there, but with this one, it really should have just been like that middle chapter where, like, these all I feel like at this point Kylo and Rey are the most important characters in this entire like new saga, but then Snoke and Luke, particularly Luke, and then, you know, more of Snoke also, would have been very helpful for fleshing out these two characters, Rey and Kylo. So they could have just done like This movie was also really long too.
Too long.
It didn't need to be that long because half of the stuff in the movie I didn't give a fuck about. But they could have just done, maybe a slightly shorter movie with just the Jedi stuff. And maybe they could have hinted at, like, at the end or something, they could have hinted at what was happening with Poe or Finn or whoever, or, like, during that, and then lead that into the next one. And just totally ditch all of the Canto Bite stuff. We don't even need Rose in the movie. Totally ditch the whole storyline with, like, the feel, like, just none of that stuff.
I agree.
It's just none of that stuff is needed. It didn't add to anything.
Dane, we need an Asian protagonist.
I mean, props to Star Wars for having a diverse cast, but her character is not that great.
I get it. Like, I don't have any. It's not like I hate Rose. I just, like, she's. I know. But, like, that. Now that you bring that up, it makes me wonder if. Like, obviously, they didn't say, okay, we need an Asian female to be.
They may have said that in the boardroom.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But Rose was fine. She was kind of, like, quirky and charming in her own way, but she had nothing to add to this story. Yeah. Like, literally nothing.
Yeah. I agree.
So, I don't know. I'm upset. I mean, I hate saying this because I try to be really, like... Maybe I'm just blind to a lot of things, mostly when I'm reviewing games or movies. But I try to be positive and, focus on the positive as much as I can in certain aspects. But this movie is frustrating me because there's a few very, very positive things, and the rest was approaching that, but then completely just tanked.
Yeah.
Like I said, all of the Jedi stuff in this movie I really liked, and that lightsaber battle, okay.
Yeah,
so good.
I want the video clip of that, or I want the YouTube video of that immediately.
It's so good. I would just pay like $10 to watch that scene.
Actually, that's kind of interesting. I would probably do that too.
Like, if they just said, all right, this new Star Wars movie is 10 minutes long and it's a dope ass lightsaber battle, I'd be like,
I'm in.
$10, let's do it. I'm in. Let's go. I'll watch it in IMAX. I don't care.
All right. Well, I don't think there's too much more to talk about. We've exhausted most of the movie.
Although
we went plot point by plot point throughout.
That's true, but I feel like that was necessary.
This has nothing to do with this, but very quickly, I'm not feeling great. I'm going to step out for a brief moment to get some water and go to the bathroom. And I will be back. Continue on.
I forgot that we have another movie to talk about. But
Battle Royale. Battle Royale.
Guys, we're back from the abyss. We came back.
We force pulled ourselves back from space.
I just thought of something really fast from Star Wars that we didn't bring up. The hyperspace thing where she cuts through the.
That was very cool.
That was cool.
That was a thing that, believe it or not, was actually executed better than the idea.
Yeah, and like I like how there's that, right after it happens, there's like that, maybe not 10 seconds, but however many long. However like long duration seconds, of like no sound, and you're just like, because after that happens, like in the theater when I watched it, at least it was it was like Friday morning. I saw like an 8 a.m. showing with my dad, so it was the first showing of the day, so pretty much premiere, and when that happened, people in the theater were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, people were like,
God.
Oh, like people were doing that in my showing.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that people would I kind of wish that they didn't spoil it, like, by breaking the silence, but whatever. It was fine. I still got the picture of it.
I mean, it was like people knew that it was dead quiet, so no one was like, oh my God. But it was like very quietly, people were like, oh shit.
We should very quickly bring up that someone in the theater that I was watching the movie at.
Oh my God.
There was a lady there who was the loud person in the theater. There was a point where I don't even remember what happened. It was like a very serious moment where someone either got shot or attacked. She just bursts out laughing. I was like, lady, just everyone can hear you. You're not quiet. Like, everyone in the theater is looking over at you. Just quiet down. It happened 20 times during the movie. It was just very frustrating.
There's always that one lady.
Have you ever actively said something to someone about being loud or like their phone out or something?
No, but this time I was damn close. I was like, listen. She was like laughing at parts on Cantha Bite 2, which were just not funny. It's just like, come on, lady. This shit's not good.
I think there's been a time actually somewhat recently. I don't think it was with any of you guys, but it might have been with my dad or something. There was someone sitting behind me at a movie theater, who kicked my chair repeatedly. Like, you know, when someone's like, you know, like they have
That's
their
the
legs
nightmare
crossed
stitch.
and then they move their leg over and they try to like readjust and they just like skim your seat. I get it. It happens. Like not everyone does that on purpose. This person I know for a fact was like
Literally kicking.
literally kicking my seat, and I like turned all the way around in my chair and I just looked at them. I just stared right at them. I'm like, I didn't even
have been there.
I didn't even say anything. It was in the middle. I don't remember what movie it was, but I wasn't about to like say anything or cause a scene. But I literally just turned completely around and looked at them, just stared at them. I was like,
That's
what are you
definitely
doing?
what I would do.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't have to say anything. I just looked at them. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Just
like,
stop.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've never had to say anything either, but I've gotten really close also.
I am not opposed to it. I try.
Oh, I know you would.
In a theater, though, like I want to preserve the movie going experience. I don't want to cause a scene. I don't want to see anyone else cause a scene. But if I have to do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I won't. It would take. It would take a lot.
Yeah.
But I would do it. I would do it. I would do what it takes.
I hope I'm there when that time comes. All right.
Careful what you wish for.
Guys, we have a movie that we watched. We watch a movie every week.
What is it called, Colter?
It's called Battle Royale, and we picked it out of our Wacky Film List. We have a list of films that we would like to see. Every week we pick it out of a bag. There's a bag with a bunch of different pieces of paper in it. I don't say bag all the time, just by the way. I'm saying
Just
it
sometimes.
ironically as a joke. Every week we pick one out, watch it, and we tell you guys what it is so that if you guys want to watch it too, you can!
Yeah.
And you have a week or more to watch it.
Yeah. Sometimes more, for sure. So we watched Battle Royale. This is a film that started the Battle Royale craze on video gaming. No.
Well, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of.
It's like, yeah.
It's definitely.
That's not a
its
wrong
influence.
statement.
Yeah.
Its influence is certainly found in a lot of games,
If you guys have heard us talk about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, it's basically the same thing.
which you almost certainly have.
Everybody's heard of the Hunger Games, and this is basically like the first version of that. So
This is basically Japanese rated R Hunger Games. It's anime Hunger Games.
how about I pass it off to Jordan? Explain the movie.
Okay, there are 100 students dropped onto an island.
No, that's
not 100.
Oh, that's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I'm sorry. There are
42.
a group of. Okay, sorry. There are 42 students. It doesn't have to be 42. It's a class of students. It could be any size.
This
Well,
class
we
is
know how
42.
many, yeah.
In this case, it's 42 students. They get taken to an island to partake in the Battle Royale.
That's right.
Because Japan's economy apparently took a shit and has 15% unemployment. No one's going to school, no one's working, so to cull the population, they have to kill students.
It's like for some reason the students are not respecting authority anymore or
Well,
something like
I
that.
think the idea is that because employment is so low, what's the point of going to school if my education isn't going to get me a job? Mm-hmm. And so they just don't go to school anymore.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
they're
got.
also relying on like that's supposed to be the influx of jobs and whatnot to help the economy, and it's not going anywhere. So all the adults are like, "Why are we working for nothing? The kids aren't
We
gonna
gotta kill
help."
the kids.
So we kill the kids.
So
Yeah, how does that follow? So we're gonna make a thing where the kids kill each other?
Look, Colter.
Suspend your
this
disbelief.
is just a means to get kids on an island with weapons to kill each other. That's
Yeah.
really all it is.
Regardless of the circumstances around it, it could be explained better. But
It could, but
at the end of the day, kids are on an island having to kill each other until there's one
Yeah.
boy or girl
the
or
interesting
other left.
part to me that was cool
like that.
was that
Good on you.
they each got their own bag that was predetermined
I
from the
liked that,
start
yeah.
with a random item or weapon, as they wanted to call it in the film, which was interesting.
I would say tool.
Yeah, I feel like the localization probably goofed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I think by weapon they meant like
A weapon.
like some like
Like an advantage or
like
like
yeah, like some sort of like their thing to use in the fight or something.
Because there
like
were
it-
guns in there, but there are also like binoculars.
Yeah,
and-
I almost felt like the
trackers.
localization would, like I said, tool would have sounded better. But anyway,
But yeah,
they're not all weapons.
Yeah, so
you
then-
could get a gun, you could get a
You get
pot lid,
anything.
you could get a GPS satellite tracking device, you could get a pair of binoculars. You don't know.
could get a binocucom.
You could get a sickle.
yeah,
Could get a katana. I don't know. Machine gun.
katana giri.
Pistol.
hatchet,
Yeah,
a kasarigama.
Crossbow.
they all got something. All right.
Everyone gets something.
So
when they duke it out.
Everything
Dane-
comes from nothing.
everybody, shut your mouths. Dane, you saw this movie.
That's right.
we hadn't seen this movie.
That's true.
Okay.
What did we think of it? What did I think of it, Jordan?
I think you thought it was okay.
Well, that's actually interesting. We should predict what
What do I think you thought about it? I think you thought. Excuse me. It's my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's my turn to speak for you.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's very confusing. This whole situation is very confusing. Okay, go ahead.
I think you thought it was good.
I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or
wait,
not.
hold on. I forgot to factor in Jordan's hatred for children.
It's true. This movie's shit.
But you saw a lot of kids die, so therefore, when you
Go ahead and tell me what you thought of the movie, Jordan.
I thought it was a fun movie. I feel like it might have been a little hyped up for me.
A fun, dread-filled.
Well, it's just like it's a fun action movie
murder
of just like
extravaganza.
chaos. It's just chaos the entire time. There's no rhyme or reason to anything that's really happening. But it's just an crazy, just like it's what you imagine Hunger Games wants to be. Is like this violent, just people are fighting for their lives, and that brings interesting stakes to the whole story. But it's ultimately just a bunch of kids killing each other, which is fun in its own right, but
Yeah.
It seemed pretty Japanese, like.
It's very Japanese.
yeah,
I don't know what I would say to back that up, but
I have a
there's
feeling
a huge Japanese vibe to it.
I agree with you because the other Japanese film we have on this list is Shin Godzilla, which if you watch that movie, you'll kind of see like, oh, this is like shot and these characters kind of act in a similar way. Like it's not like there's certainly a different way that this movie is filmed compared to like what we normally see like in the United States. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my finger on it, but it is a little different. And I think if you watch like another Japanese
It's
film,
structured
like, okay,
differently.
Yeah, you'll be like, okay, I could kind of see this. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I liked this, really quickly, just to throw in what you were saying, the reason I liked this movie, because it's not an Oscar-winning movie. Like,
No,
absolutely not.
As an action film, I think it's fun. I think it's directed pretty well. It's just an interesting, like, it's a fun, entertaining movie to watch. But I also like that, kind of like what you said, where this is kind of what Hunger Games wants to be, which in my mind, it's like the whole Hunger Games thing. I didn't watch. Full disclaimer: I watched the first Hunger Games movie and hated it. I read the first book and hated it, so I didn't watch anymore or read anymore. But from what I understand, it goes into like political intrigue and like there's like this whole like conspiracy about the government wants to kill the population, like poor people and all that thing. But with this one, I think it's interesting because it shows what would obviously it's completely ridiculous, but it kind of shows what would happen if this was a real thing where people snap and they will do what it takes, or certain people will take it as an opportunity to like unleash a part of them that they kept hidden or something like it kind of shows like how easily someone could really snap and just be like prepared to do this, even though it's completely ridiculous and like basically like a cartoon. It's like an IRL anime.
Yeah.
Sort of. Like, it's a little ridiculous, but it also, there's something cool where, like, some of the kids, you're like, oh, man, like, this kid's, like, the kid that wanted to get into the good school or whatever, and he was, like, reading, he, like, totally lost his mind, and he was reading off, like, math equations, was just totally prepared to kill, like, anyone in his path with, like, a machine gun. Like, he was just, like, fucking crazy. But it kind of showed that, like, the desperation would cause people to do these
I think
things.
we kind of like goofed on some parts because a lot of the interactions between the kids are like, oh, like I had like a crush on you and stuff, and like I miss you. But then like when you think about it, these are like a bunch of like ninth graders like doing this shit. Like, of course, the only thing they have to go on is who their crushes were. Like, they don't have any understanding of what's going on. Like, it's like that's what they have to like go off of. That's how their alliances are built. Like their cliques in school or how they build their alliances. Like that's an interesting, fun.
Remind me what that book was that we were saying that we were referencing about the little kids.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like they form their own little, political. Not political, but it's more political in Lord of the Flies. But there's still you still think of they're
cliques.
kids. They're very shallow and they're basing all their opinions on each other on very shallow things about each other. So.
Yeah, which is interesting because that's the only viewpoint they have is junior high, and like they what their views of the world and like how their morals and like whatever it is, everything is just based on junior high, and then they're thrown into this ridiculous, completely absurd situation where they have firearms and they're supposed to kill their best friends essentially. Like it's weird, but I think they do a somewhat good. They make a good case as to what would happen if like these kids were actually in that situation. Because in Hunger Games, it's like, you know, all those people are like trained warriors.
I mean, it's also like a pseudo like sci-fi world.
Well, I guess they're in like, yeah, that's true. They're in like a post-apocalyptic scenario or something, right?
I don't know.
That's what I thought it was.
I really liked how they tried their hardest to make you like care about each person though. And it seems like kind of an anime thing where they'll flash back to, oh, this was our like best time together, which we definitely goofed on how it went back to their basketball game.
A lot of basketball shots in there.
A lot of basketball shots.
But it's a stark contrast.
Troy Bolton,
to...
High School Musical, get you ahead in the game type situation.
Yeah.
But like the point of that is like, oh, we had all these great times together, and it's like going through their lives, and like it all led up to this moment. So it kind of, I like the sincerity and the like emotional, sincerity.
I say Evan.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I thought it was a fun movie. Not gonna win any awards, I'm sure, but it's a fun battle royale thing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even necessarily have that many like twists and turns plot wise or anything. It's definitely about each individual, little conflict.
For me, also, it was fun seeing the stuff they do and then being like, oh, that's definitely where PUBG got this influence from, is this thing. Like, oh, look at these red zone things popping in. Like, okay, that's cool. Just fun.
Yeah, like even the map when they pull it in is the exact same map. I mean, that's a classic thing anyway, but for like military stuff, but it literally is broken up into like like A through whatever with the numbers, and then
something I was waiting the whole movie to see like someone be in a red zone. Literally, it never came into play.
Never came into play.
Yeah.
All it really
they moved sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
I guess
they said like, oh, we need to move to this area because it's not a restricted zone, but no one ever got killed or like was close to even getting killed.
Yeah. No, like I think that would have been interesting, but I guess it was more just a way of like, just like the circle in PUBG is just like ushering them towards each other. Mm-hmm. That's really all it was.
But the way I understood it was if they were even in like the restricted zone, their collar would detonate and they'd like explode.
Yeah, once the timer, like I think they would say like by a certain, wasn't it like by the next announcement or whatever, those zones would be shut down.
It was just on a time. They're like, oh, from like 7 o'clock, this zone is now a restricted area.
Okay, so yeah,
from
so it's like
this zone is
once the timer is up, or once it hits that time, then whoever's in there gets boomed.
Yeah,
gets boomed on.
Gets boom headshotted.
Boom headshot.
Whoa,
that was loud. That you're gonna have to cut that out.
I'm gonna cut your whole text dialogue. Your whole text.
What does that mean?
Speech.
The whole text to speech.
Yeah. I'm going to text to speech all your stuff and have a robot read it instead of you.
I would actually be interested to hear that. Can you do that, please?
That would be fun.
Absolutely not. I would have to transcribe the entire podcast.
Do you promise? No.
No. That was great. Anything else about this? I mean, it's honestly a fairly shallow movie, even though I just said
it's a straightforward movie.
It's a straightforward movie, and it doesn't really have a significant plot. Like,
yeah, I mean, the plot is survive. That is all you can really expect from it. I'm not expecting like even the ending, which I don't have to get into it, but like the ending is not exactly what I expected. I expected to play it pretty straightforward, and it kind of still twists a little bit, but even then, it is a very straightforward movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They definitely don't dwell on like the plot at all.
This is perhaps the most straightforward movie on the list.
Maybe. It's definitely like a genre movie though, so it's like
that's true.
Yeah. For some reason, I probably just because of the language barrier, like having to read subtitles. And it being like a live action movie where people are dying and stuff, I kind of thought of Train of Busan a little bit when we were watching Train to Busan. And I think that movie was definitely better.
I rewatched Train to Busan recently, and that's a really good movie.
I actually really like that movie. This is like one of the best movies of the year for sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite zombie movies for sure. And rewatching it, I realized that it's a very smart script. I really enjoy the writing for a lot of the characters in there, and also like how that universe treats its zombies is really cool. How like this is totally a tangent. I'm not going to go on this for very long, but like how they at the very beginning when the zombies are trying to get through the door, they're like wait, hold on, they don't know how to operate doors, and so they just like walk away, and the zombies can't do it, and then like they take like the water bottle or whatever, and they throw the water on the window, and then they put newspaper up so that the zombies can't see them, and then they're just totally chill. Like a lot of those things are really cool.
Yeah,
like, it's actually a really smart zombie movie. Watch Train to Busan if you haven't seen it, guys.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, not even just like the zombie stuff, but how it dwells on the emotional stuff and like the plot is super good.
Yeah, it is.
And
really
it does
good.
way more of that than Battle Royale for sure.
And it's not nearly as heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm. And in the beginning of Train to Busan, it's kind of the shallow relationships that you see in Battle Royale, but as the movie goes on, you're like forming a bond with the people on screen, and you're caring.
There's
like,
very clearly an
more and
arc
more
to all the characters too. Like they actually reach a good ending point to all their characters.
The main character especially has a great arc.
Yeah,
the dad.
Yeah, and by the end, you're just fully invested, and
That's right.
You're feeling
fully
feels.
intestine.
I also feel like it was really well directed.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of really cool action
Yeah, it
sequences in
looked
there.
really
Like
good, yeah.
the movie just like looks very, very sleek and cool.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I
Good acting,
recommend
too.
that movie. If you guys are thinking about watching Battle Royale, you can, but definitely make sure you go to Netflix and hit up Train to Busan first.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah. I'll give.
I would say buy it on iTunes. For a while, it was only available on iTunes. It was like $10. So it's a pretty good price. It's a good movie. Support good movies. Sorry.
I agree.
Go ahead and give it your score, Jordan.
I'm gonna give Battle Royale number 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a
I like
pretty.
that.
That's good. Right. Yeah, we're good.
Dane.
I'm gonna give this probably an 8 out of 10. I'll give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
These are pretty high.
Well, so for me, I'm looking at it where it's not, like I said, it's not an Oscar-winning movie. I don't think it's gonna win any awards, for like drama or anything crazy or storytelling. But for a straightforward action film where you can kind of turn your brain off to a certain extent and just enjoy the mayhem and chaos, I think they did a really good job. So, and I feel like it's like not a classic, but it's sort of like an iconic action film, and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
A lot, actually.
I think I may have built it up more than it turned out to be.
Yeah.
But it is good. I'd say, yeah. As far as my recommendations go, I recommend it to anyone that enjoys genre movies, namely like, horror and
Thriller,
like
suspense,
fighting
thriller,
and suspense,
action.
yeah. But definitely, if you're interested in like a very Japanese movie, this is interesting. I feel like one of the most interesting things about it to me, like what kept me interested, was how Japanese it was, and like seeing how they react to situations differently than how I would.
And just Japanese
react.
filmmaking is, any sort of filmmaking from any country is going to be a lot different,
Very
but
quickly.
especially from the United States, it's very different.
Yeah, I really like the part where they have like the infomercial and they have kind of like the very like idol girl doing her thing. I was like, yeah, that's definitely a very Japanese thing that you would not see like an infomercial in a horror movie for us, like in the United States at least. Like that kind of stuff just doesn't play that well.
I think that might have been the best scene in the movie.
It's very like funny and just like off-putting a little bit. It's like, this isn't right.
Like, she shouldn't be talking like this about killing kids.
But that's fun.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Not a bad movie.
No.
In fact, a good one.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I did see another movie, and it's called Jumanji. Boom.
Oh my god, the new one?
Boom.
I'm
Yes.
actually going to throw up.
I can tell there's some bias already. Have you guys heard that this movie has high rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah,
Somewhat.
70-something%.
Yeah.
That's
Odd 70s.
Yeah, so I'll keep it somewhat brief. It's basically a kids movie that's like PG-13, and the cast like carries it. The pairing of, we already know that The Rock and Kevin Hart like pairing is a good pairing. And Jack Black, I love Jack Black. So, but him being a teenage girl, weird, a little heavy-handed.
Yeah.
The So we know that the plot is that these kids go to detention. They're all like classmates or whatever, and while they're in detention, they find a video game that turns out to be Jumanji, and then they all get sucked into the game.
Right.
And then The Rock and Kevin Hart and all them are like video game avatars.
Which I will say I like that concept.
Yeah.
That concept is cool.
Honestly, it worked really well. Honestly, I liked the movie a fair amount. I'm going to say I was more satisfied by it than The Last Jedi.
To be fair, while watching the trailer,
I'm shook.
I did chuckle a couple times. I'm like, it's funny. Like, you can tell they're having fun at least, you know? Like, I think it's called Jumanji is what upsets me, because that, like, I'm not even a big fan of the original Jumanji movie, but like, it really doesn't seem like the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I will say that if a modern day Jumanji was going to be made, this is exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
But I don't like that it's called Jumanji, because I feel like they're just trying to, like, the only reason this movie is well, that's probably not true with the cast they have, but the reason this movie is getting so much attention is because its name is Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they had just done like Jungle Adventure or something crazy, like,
if it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Jumanji,
like,
yeah.
and it probably still would have been the same movie. It probably would have been fine and funny. Like, I'm sure it's not a terrible movie, but
I think The Rock was like one of the main producers on it. So
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this movie. Actually, I haven't seen it, so like, yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot more to say. It's not I'm not gonna remember it in a year or so, which is not a high compliment, but it's a straightforward, funny, good movie for mostly kids.
Not as bad as you thought.
If you're teenage, you will love this movie.
I feel like this is the exact type of movie that we would have been very excited to see when we were in junior high and all going to see a movie together and then hanging out and like, sleeping over and being kids.
Yeah, it's great for, teenagers and stuff.
Sure.
And I do enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I was gonna say one more thing about it. Man.
Well,
I thought I watched a movie recently.
I guess it's gone. Any other movies?
I don't think so. I was going to say, I haven't really watched anything. Oh,
So-
I watched it again. Still good.
Nice.
all right, wrap that one up.
Still good.
That was all I had to say. I mean, I really like that movie. I watched the special features. If you have a chance, if you're at all interested in it, I don't know if you guys care at all, but if anyone out there is interested, they have a really cool making of documentary talking about how they constructed Pennywise and like the whole like lore behind it. It's actually somewhat interesting. So it's like 10 minutes, but it's fun.
I'm glad you vamped because I remember what I was going to say. It's like Jumanji was like kind of the first, or this has been one of the first real adventure, like Indiana Jones, foreign, like Crusader, like Tomb Raider, like type adventure for a really long time, and it works as that weirdly. It's actually like a fun little thing. Basically, if you've played Uncharted, it's like very similar to that, which is a very fun vibe, and it looks very nice. There's actually, I was gonna say, there's not a ton of CGI, like. There's actual sets and locations in Jumanji, which is exciting.
That's cool.
There obviously is CGI. There's like animals and hippos and elephants and stuff like that obviously aren't real, but
Sure.
there are real locations, and there's like a whole bazaar scene where they're going through the marketplace, and that whole thing is real.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they're real like dudes on motorcycles. Like the main bad guys are dudes on motorcycles that are, look like terrorist looking guys. Like I'm talking about like, what do you call it? The game Counter-Strike or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That type of terrorist.
Yeah.
Op 4.
Yeah. So, good movie.
Cool.
Interesting. Cool.
Well, I guess, is that it?
That's it.
I think so.
Basically.
For the moves.
Oh, yeah. Forgot we talk about games. Anyone been playing anything?
Quite frankly, I don't have a lot to talk about this week.
Nor do I.
Nor do I feel great, so I would like to wrap it up a little bit. But the only thing I have been playing is Gravity Rush 2, which is a game that came out earlier this year. I haven't played... Sorry. Early last year. It's 2018 now, so... but that game is neat. like the main like gimmick is that you can change the pull of gravity to kind of fly, which is fun because you just fly around the map and do like dumb stuff like that. But I'm not too far into it, so I don't have that much to say. But that mechanic is fun, and it's like an open world, so you can kind of do it anywhere.
Yeah,
it's neat.
There's definitely like a fair amount of gravity shifting games out there.
It's intriguing.
Is it a side scroller or?
It's like a third person action game.
Okay, that's cool then, because I feel like a lot of the gravity related things are like side scroller.
It is
like
very
2D.
like freeform too, and also it's like really cool the way she flies. Is that it's not just like she doesn't like turn into like Superman and fly. The gravity just shifts and you just fall, and like you're just in like a falling animation like through the air, and it's really like unique seeing that. And then
It's sort of disorienting.
it is. It gets it's very like confusing sometimes, and also I
Yeah.
get like very confused at where I'm going. But it is fun if you just like let go of the gravity and smash into the ground. She just catapults into the ground and just like creates like a impact crater, and it's pretty cool. But
It definitely gives you a cool, similar to Infamous. The reason I like Infamous is that it gives you a good idea of what it would feel like to have those specific powers. Like you feel very powerful and like, superhuman, which is cool. It's easy to sometimes lose that in superhero games where it doesn't feel quite as impactful, but that game is cool. We were joking earlier that I'm going to create a new segment on the video game area called Dane's World of Warcraft Corner, because I started playing World of Warcraft again.
Oh no!
And
my thoughts exactly. Cole.
Today I went from level 1 to 15 or 14, I guess, just about 15. So we'll very quickly each episode be like, "Where's Dane in World of Warcraft?" Because I'm trying to get from 1 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So 110 is the level cap. So
you'll need to update us about that just as much as you update us about Slime Rancher. Slime
Yeah,
Rancher needs to
exactly.
be brought up in every episode.
look, Slime Rancher is a fantastic game.
you play
Easily my game of the year.
Play Slime Rancher again so we can know what's happening.
We need to know what
game.
your slimes are up to.
They're farming. They're ranching.
They're pooping.
They're ranching.
They're ranching.
That's all I know
They're on the
about
ranch.
Slime
They're on the ranch.
You
They're
just-
doing slime stuff.
You even played the game, and you're just like, Slime's ranching.
Even Dane's description of the game, I still couldn't get my head around what actually was going on.
But I can't really even describe what it is because it's unlike anything I've played. Look, you shoot your little slimes into a little cage. They're sliming around.
Alright, we
They're
don't
doing
need to go
slime
into it. We got it.
things.
Well, They're
I
slimes.
don't know.
When you said that, for some reason that reminded me of the Flash game, what is it? Something Buddy, where you're like moving 'em
Explosive
around.
Buddy. Or,
Yeah, and you have guns and you can like shoot them. It's one of those like when you're in middle or like elementary school, you're like,
you're
I
like-
want to shoot guns at a in a video game.
I want to hurt something.
I want to cause pain to something that isn't
like
real.
looks somewhat humanoid.
I want to cause pain to a humanoid figure. It doesn't have to
with
be
the
a
weapons.
human. Yeah.
It's bad, dude. You can like pour acid on it and shit. No, there's another one. We're done with this. I'm not gonna talk about it. There's another one where you can like torture like a stick figure or something, dude. Like,
And it's
some crazy-
okay,
It's
yeah.
bad. Yeah, it's bad. All right, guys.
It's time for picking the wacky film of the week. Let's go next week's wacky film.
Is it your turn, Colter?
Oh, God.
Guys,
Don't ask me
I
that.
feel like we said... I don't know if we said this
picked Battle
before.
Royale?
I feel like a fast way to do this is whoever's the host just pull the thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
Like,
that's great.
Isn't that
Let's
way
do that.
easier? Is that not just way
Oh
That's-
my
easier?
god.
That's fantastic. Look, it only took us 24 episodes.
Why didn't we do that
It only
before?
took us 24 episodes.
Why haven't we been doing that?
I don't know.
That's the dumbest thing. It took us so long to figure that
Guys,
out.
every week we kind of described it before, but we pull out a goddamn movie out of this bag and we watch it, and we give you a week or more to watch it as well. And you can feel like you're watching it. It's like a little movie club. It's like a book club, but with movies. Every week,
Slap
and it could be anything. It could be Battle Royale. It could be an anime movie that we watched. It could be Apocalypse Now. You don't know. It could be award winning. It could be
Could
abysmal.
be a shock film.
It could be the greatest film of all time, Halloween Town 2: Calibar's Revenge. You don't know. We don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even know. If
You
it's
don't know.
one of these or
We
one
don't
of
know.
those. Could be an Italian film.
It could be an Italian job.
I have
The
a
Italian
film.
job. All right.
Are you scared?
Yes, I'm always scared. I'm always nervous.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Wow. Interesting.
We
That's-
just
that's a
added,
new one,
We
yeah.
just added that movie last week or a couple weeks
Film.
ago. Awesome. I'm excited to see this.
I'm actually interested in seeing this. Yeah.
Another Asian film.
Yeah, that is intriguing.
I believe a Hong Kong film.
It's yeah. I
If
was
you're
gonna say
wrong,
it's-
they'll crucify you.
No, I think it is.
If you miss this.
If you miss this
fairly
shot, they'll
certain.
hang you. Miss this shot.
What is that from?
American Sniper.
Oh.
Shame
Shame?
that you didn't know that.
Oh.
I can't. You
American
you didn't
Sniper
know
is
the most
subject of
famous quote
memes.
from the story of the greatest
I'm trying
American
to
war
think of a
hero,
more
Chris Kyle.
famous- I think, or just what I thought of as far as famous quotes from that movie is he has more like confirmed kill or like however many confirmed kills.
Oh yeah, he has 500 confirmed kills or whatever.
He's like, "Are you the
the
Chris
American
Kyle?"
Sniper?
Or yeah, something like that.
I'm
Just
Chris
So
Kyle.
dumb.
Yes.
I'm Chris Kyle from South Park.
I'm Chris Kyle.
Nice.
Guys, thank you for watching this episode
Are you okay, Toast?
of Not So Subtle. Guys, we made it 24 episodes. We're almost at 25. Oh
Hold
my
on.
god, 24, and it's my 24th birthday.
I couldn't be any better.
Oh my god.
Guys, if you want to send me an email
Colter.
about my age, what's my age again? Tell me in the comments down below.
You can't do that.
Look, nobody likes you when you're 23, but now you don't have to worry about that.
Now I don't have to have that on my mind at all times.
We didn't like you when you were
Send
23.
us an email at itsnotsosubtle@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, at It's Not So Subtle. What else we got?
I think you got most of them.
Yeah, I think
YouTube,
that's basically
iTunes.
it. SoundCloud. Don't go to our SoundCloud.
I don't think that's been updated in a while.
Yeah. Go to, if you're listening to this on iTunes, go to YouTube. If you're listening to this on YouTube, go to iTunes.
What are you doing?
You can listen to it in the car. If you've been watching our videos, you can just listen to it in the car. And then if you hear something that sounds like it could have been a funny visual gag, just go back to the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to the channel. That would actually help us out a lot. Actually watch the videos too. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And then if you're on iTunes, be the first one that's not sitting at this table to review the podcast, I think. I haven't been checking those.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's pretty much it. Where can we find you, Jordan?
Find me at the Kill Mill on Twitter, Instagram, video game stuff, and what have you. You can find my anime blog on Tumblr at Tenzo-Taicho.
Can you spell that?
No.
That's a hilarious meme. I like to think of that as a meme, just because I have no connection to it whatsoever. The Tenzo-Taicho. Anyways, what say you, Librarian Dane? He's doing a funny bit.
If you would like to find me on the interwebs, you may do so. Twitter.
Damn, we're running short on time here. Can you,
Instagram at Lane to Point. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been streaming a lot lately. I was gonna say check out our Twitch, but we have won some matches at PUBG recently, but we haven't streamed any of them. So you'll just have to take my word for it. But
Think about how cool it was.
But think about how awesome it was. It was pretty cool. We won a few of them. Maybe we won every one we played. You don't know. So we did that, and then of course Pornhub. Can't forget the Pornhubs. Lots of content on there, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
At Lane to Point.
At Lane to Point.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope
Thanks.
you watched Star Wars.
Me too.
I sure
Spoiler
hope anyone
warnings.
who is listening to Star Wars or listening to this podcast saw Star Wars,
Gonna have
because
some-
over half of it was about Star Wars.
Big old spoiler warning on the front of this.
Yep. That's it.
All right. So
Guys, may the Force be with you always.
Yuck.
May the 4th be with you. What a funny day of the year.
May the 24th be with you.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Colter!
Oh, thanks, guys. Bye.
Birthday, see ya.
Wave goodbye, Kermit. Bye.